We're starting Be'ezras Hashem Siman Mem, Vayoel Moshe, and the subject is the Rambam in Hilchos Malachim that talks about the criteria for Mashiach. The Rambam says that Melech Mashiach is not going to have to do any miracles, and at the same time the Rambam says in other places that he will be a Navi, and then the Hemshech of that Rambam there. The Rambam says that one of the criteria for Mashiach is that he's going to make Yidden do tshuva, right? So Rabbi is going to speak about that, and this is really in the context. You have to keep in mind what the goal here is. The goal here is to find out where the Rambam mentions the Shalosh Shevuos, because he doesn't mention them in Yad Chazaka. So what the Rebbe is trying to do in this Siman is lay the groundwork to show that making the Yidden do tshuva and requiring that tshuva come before the Geula, that's the yesod of what the Shalosh Shevuos are about. So let's take a look inside. B'hinei l'choyer Lashon Rambam zal eino muvan. The Lashon Rambam there in Hilchos Malachim is hard to understand, because Shehistchil Loimar, he begins by saying Sha'amelech HaMashiach ein tzarich lasos oisis u'moifsim, that Mashiach won't have to make any miracles to prove himself. V'siyim, and he ends off that halacha she'ikra dvarim kachahein, that the main idea here is Sha'atoyer hazois chukeo mishpatel lo'olam u'olam me'olamim. The Torah is going to last forever. The laws of the Torah will always go on. Ve'ein moisifin aleim, and we'll never add to them. Ve'ein goyim mehem, we never take away from them.
So we just have that a few weeks ago?
Yeah, he quoted that a few weeks ago, a few Simanim ago.
No, but which parsha is that?
Oh, you mean the Torah?
Yeah.
Oh, Lo Yisai Falav Lo Yisi Rabbi Menu, Parshas West Chanan.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So the kasha is here. Ve'eno muvan kisha advarim. What's the connection here? What's the connection between Mashiach not making miracles and the Torah is not going to be added to? Right? Does the Rambam mean that if Mashiach would have to show miracles, then shinui would that mean that we're adding to the Torah or changing the Torah or subtracting from it? Why does the Rambam make these things, the miracles and the changing of the Torah, dependent on each other? And as we mentioned before, the Rabbi is going to answer this question later on in Siman Mem Ches. Just flip quickly to Mem Ches. Siman Mem Ches, that is. Page Samach Beis. He says, the bottom of the first column, he says, V'lachein hemi the Rambam, the last three lines of the first column. V'lachein hemi the Rambam zal ha-yesoid ha-rishon she'iyeh hoige v'toyer v'oisik v'mitzvahs kedavid aviv k'fi toyer she'bichsav she'ba'peh v'yof kol Yisrael eilus b'av v'chazik bidka. He says that the Rambam makes the main criteria of Mashiach to be making the Jewish people repent and do tshuva and everything. That's a surefire way to know that he's Mashiach. Even though he also brings that Mashiach will be a miraculous person who have abilities to be a Navi. He says other things about Mashiach that are amazing. The real bottom line, how do you know he's Mashiach? Is Hamid al Mashiach Kol Yisrael Yekaimu Kol Torah Kula. It's that the whole Jewish people will keep the Torah. Halvai Shenizke Lira Hizois Be'eneinu B'mheira. V'zehu Asimin Lo Yizulas. Al Ken Achar Kosev Rambam Zal She'enu To'ali B'moifsim. That's why when the Rambam says that it's not dependent on miracles, so the
ikr is to do teshuva and mitzvahs, not the miracles.
Not the miracles. So therefore, that's what he ends off. The Torah is not going to change. If you would say that Mashiach is going to be proving himself by walking on the water and making Tchiyas Mesim, then all of a sudden the next day he could say, yeah, and we're not keeping the Torah anymore, and we would believe him, because that's not the ikr. If we would think Shatali b'moifsim that Mashiach depends on miracles, then efshel he's patos. We could get convinced. If Mashiach would go and make up this false Mashiach would make up some. Now back to Mem. So that's the question on this Rambam. V'hinei masha kosav siman harishon. Now we're going to the next part of the Rambam. This Rambam he brought until now is Halacha Gimel. Perek Yud Aleph, Halacha Gimel. Now he's going to Halacha Daled, where the Rambam lists the things that Mashiach is going to have to do. So the first thing he lists is Sha'amelech HaMashiach Yachuv Kol Yisrael L'Kiyum HaTorah K'tosha. He will force all the Jewish people to fulfill the Torah, U'lechazik Bidka, and to strengthen its weak points. So where's the makar for this? Every Rambam has to have a source, right?
Yeah.
So he says you have to look elsewhere in the Rambam. Makar Davar Kamash Kasev B'Hilchos Tshuva, Perek Zayin Halacha Hey. Ein Yisrael Nigalim El B'Tshuva. The Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva says that the Jewish people will only be redeemed through Tshuva. And he brings a pasuk there. He says, "Ukvar hifticha Torah shesoif Yisrael lasis Tshuva b'soif galusan." The Torah promises that the Jewish people will do Tshuva at the end of their exile, umiyad hein nigalim, and right away they will be redeemed after they do Tshuva. Shenemar v'haya ki yavayu alecha kol advarim. Pasuk in Parshas Nitzavim, it says, when all these things come upon you, all the toichecha, the shavta ad Hashem Elokecha, and you do Tshuva, you repent to Hashem. The Shav Hashem Elokecha, and then Hashem will bring you back from Galus. Okay? So that's the pasuk that Rambam is based on, and that Rambam in turn is the yesod for the Rambam in Hilchos Malachim, that Mashiach will be the one making us do Tshuva. But Tzarech Lahavin. Now, we have to understand here, haloi he plukta b'Gemara Sanhedrin Sadik Zayin on the base, that this question of whether there'll be tshuva before the Geula is a machlokes in Sanhedrin between the Tanoim. The Rebbe Lezer ain't nigalim el b'tshuva. Rebbe Lezer holds, like the Rambam says, that we will never be redeemed until we do tshuva. Rabbi Yeshua chalik. Now take a look inside. I have on the Maamar Cohen sheet. Just move over a little bit. Sanhedrin, it's on page 1 of the Maamar Cohen. Sanhedrin, Sadik Zayin on base. Omar Rav. It starts with Rav and Shmuel. Rav says, "Kalu kol akitzin." All the signs of the kates of Bias and Mashiach have already passed. Now we're only waiting for tshuva. Okay, Shmuel Omar. Shmuel says no. It's enough that the mourner should stand in his mourning. In other words, he stood enough long in his mourning. And look at Rashi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the mourner, and it's enough for HaKadosh Baruch Hu she'omed kama yamim v'yaminoi achar. He's standing many days with his right hand backwards, meaning he's not saving us. Kloimar im lo yasu tshuva eino omed be'evloi kol hayamim. Even if the Jewish people don't do tshuva, Hashem's not going to stand like this forever. El vadai kates the davar. There's going to come an end, and He's going to bring the gula. Lishnachrina, another pshat. Dayan la'avel, dayan liYisrael. This second shot learns that the mourner is the Jewish people. Dayan liYisrael tsar galus. It's enough of the pain of galus. Afilu b'loy tshuva nigalin. And even without tshuva, the substitute will be the pain of galus. So now Shmuel says. So we're going to see how we paskin now. Kitanoi, Rav and Shmuel follow the same machlokes as the Tanoim. Rebbe Lezer oimer im Yisrael oisin tshuva nigalim. If they do tshuva, they're going to get redeemed. Vim lav ein nigalim. No, until they do tshuva, they won't get redeemed. Omar le Rabbi Yeshua im ein oisin tshuva ein nigalim. How could it be if they don't do tshuva, they'll never be redeemed? They'll never be a gula. El HaKadosh Baruch Hu ma'amid lahen melech shegzeiros of kashos kahaman. Hashem will bring about a king who makes bad gzeiros against the Jews, like Haman. Israel oisin tshuva, and because of the fear of that gzeira, they'll do tshuva. Umachzir and lemutav. He'll bring them back to the path. Okay, so that's the machlokes Rebbe Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua, and v'chein he plukta bein Rav and Shmuel. Going back to learning Vayoel Moshe now, that Rav and Shmuel argue in the same machlokes. The Rav Omer kol akitzim ve'en adavar tali el b'tshuva, u'Shmuel Omer dayel aval she'amoy be'evloi. Okay, we saw that. Upirish Rashi zal b'lashon rishon. Im lo yasu tshuva eino omer be'evloi kol hayamim. Because Baruch Hu won't stand in his mourning all the days. V'alei the davar. There's going to be an end of Lish Nachrina Pirish Dayal La'avol Dayim L'Yisrael Tzara Galus Afilu B'loi Tshuva Nigalim. Okay, so Uvechol Makom B'Reb Lezer B'Yeshua Alach B'Yeshua. So here's the problem: the Rambam paskin that need tshuva.
Yeah.
And we know that when Rabbi Lezer is against Rabbi Yeshua, we go like Rabbi Yeshua.
There's a general rule. We always go by the second time, though. Like,
no, it's not because of that. It's because Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Lezer was put into Cherem, and also he was Beis Shammai, according to one shot. The point is that we pass like Rabbi Yeshua. We don't pass like Rabbi Lezer. All of the Shas. Gam b'Rav Shmuel, also Rav and Shmuel, there's also a klal, halach Shmuel b'dini. Usually like Rav, but by dinim halach is like Shmuel.
I mean, what do you mean?
Dinim meaning like money matters. Nizikin, things like this, things that have to do with
Nizikin go like Shmuel?
We go like Shmuel. Yeah. And other things in Shas, like Yisturim, we go like Rav. The question is, what does this fall under? He's just trying to show it's not so pashut that halacha k'Rav. So umadua hechlit bozeh. Why then did the Rambam decide to paskin k'Rabbi Lezer b'Rav? Yeah. Shevuos tshuva nigalim. Okay. V'lechoyer chashavti. One way I thought we could answer this is that given sha'amru b'shas bavli, since the Gemara here we just learned it inside says that Rabbi Yeshua even says she'im ein Yisrael oisin tshuva. If the Jewish people don't do tshuva, HaKadosh Baruch Hu ma'amid lahem melech she'gzeiros of kashim kahaman. Hashem is going to make a king come about with gzeiros like Haman. Yisrael oisin tshuva v'choizrin lamutav. So even Rabbi Yeshua agrees that there's going to be tshuva. So that's why the Rambam paskin there's going to be tshuva. Hagam shebi Yerushalmi perak aleph the tainis isa behepich. Although the Yerushalmi does say the other way around, the Rabbi Lezer Omer, it's Rabbi Lezer who says she'oisin tshuva ha'idei melech kasha kahaman. The Rabbi Lezer is the one who says basically that the problem with Rabbi Lezer is if the Jewish people don't repent, there's not going to be a geula. Repentance is something that's totally in our free will. So Hashem can't force it to happen. So maybe it'll never happen.
Yeah.
So the teretz is king. So Rabbi Lezer is going to say the king, and Rabbi Yeshua cholik.
What Gemara is this? What Amud is this?
This is Sanhedrin Tzadik Zayin on the base. If you look on the third page of the Maamar, I have the Yerushalmi.
Which Yerushalmi is this?
Tainus Daf Gimel Amud Aleph.
Yeah.
And same machlokes of Rabbi Lezer and Yeshua is brought here. Yeah. Second to the top line. Rabbi Lezer Omer Im Ein Yisrael Oisin Tshuva Ein Yigalim Lo'olam. If they don't do tshuva, they'll never be redeemed. Shenam Rabbi Shuva v'nachas tiva shein. Through repentance, you will be redeemed. Amar lo Rabbi Yeshua v'chiim yamdu Yisrael v'lo yastu tshuva ein yigalim lo'olam. How could it be? So Amar lo Rabbi Lezer HaKadosh Baruch Hu mamid aleim melech kasha kahaman. So you see, Rabbi Lezer is the one who's saying the thing about Haman.
So how could the Bavli and Yerushalmi be in total reverse like this?
Well, sometimes that happens, that you have different girsais in a machlokes. So miyad hein oisin tshuva v'hein yigalim. Okay, that's the first shtickle of the Yerushalmi.
Which Bavli is this?
Sanhedrin, Tzadik Zayin on the base.
Yeah.
Okay. So even though the Yerushalmi says the opposite, Nimsa the Rabbi Yeshua af beli tshuva klal nigolim. So it comes out according to the Yerushalmi, Rabbi Yeshua doesn't need any tshuva whatsoever. Since we follow the Bavli over the Yerushalmi, right? Well, the Fishit is a Bavli after Rabbi Yeshua, so ever she has to tshuva. According to the Bavli, even Rabbi Yeshua agrees that there will be some kind of tshuva. Just it won't be a tshuva out of our own free will. It'll be a tshuva because of a melech. But still, the Rambam is still correct that there'll be tshuva. So lachein hechlit she'ein yigalim ela b'tshuva. Okay, so he says about ef shalaham mizeh b'das the Rambam. He says this we can't learn this is pshat in the Rambam. Shaharei kasav b'hilchos malachim sham melech hamashiach yachu kol Yisrael l'kiyum ha'torah ha'kdosha. He says in Hilchos Malachim that Mashiach is the one who's going to force us to do tshuva. So im kein kasav sha'tshuva tiyeh al yidei melech hamashiach v'lo al yidei melech kasha kahaman. It won't be through a melech kasha; it will be through Mashiach. Now, besides that, I think that there's a shtickle problem here because the Rambam in Hilchos Malachim says Mashiach will do it, right? The Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva says there'll be tshuva before the Geula. What's before the Geula? What's the Geula?
Well, there's your most of Mashiach, which is not yet the Geula, but when Mashiach is in the process.
Oh, so because just to give you a little just preview of what this whole Siman is about.
Your most of Mashiach, it's not the same as a Geula. When it says Ansur Other Shavais Chol Pib Olam Haza, Maharal says is even Yemos Mashiach when there's not yet the Geula. But even in the process, the Isra still applies.
Okay, but What's basically going to happen is Mashiach's going to appear while we're in Galus, and then he's going to bring us back to Eretz Yisrael after making us do tshuva. Right? First there'll be tshuva, then there'll be a kibbutz galius. So what part of that process is called geula? And so at this point, we're understanding pashtus that any part of this thing is called geula. Even Mashiach appearing is called geula. So we have to do tshuva before Mashiach comes in order for him to come. But here we're saying that Mashiach is going to do the tshuva himself. So that's already a steer in this Rambam, if you learn like that. If you learn the way the Rebbe is going to eventually learn, which is in Siman Mem Aleph, he's going to learn that it's the geula. It's the process of bringing back the Yidden from the whole world to Eretz Yisrael. That's the geula that we're referring to here. Bias HaMashiach could come before that, then there's no steer. But as I said, that's not the way we're learning now. So the way we're learning now, there's tam steer in Rambam. Okay, let's continue. Uve emes bebraisa hashniya sheba Bavli. The second brisa in the Bavli in Tzadik Zayin on the base. I didn't highlight it, but it's at the bottom of the page. This second brisa, Achar Kach, Titania Idach, Shama Ba'arichus. It goes back and forth there with Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Lezer. Tainus Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Yeshua, Mikroi. They bring psukim as proofs. Shama loy nizkar me'uma mitshuva shal yidei melech kasha. There it doesn't say anything about a melech kasha. It's only the first brisa that says this. Ve'adrabah, me'loshna ksuvim shevi Rabbi Yeshua. From the verses that Rabbi Yeshua brings, levasoif, at the end there he brings a pasuk that there'll be a kates, there'll be a certain zman. So near sha'af b'li tshuva. It sounds like he holds that there won't be any tshuva at all. Only because of the great suffering of the Jews, Yirachim Hashem Yisparach v'yavi Mashiach. Yeah, Ayin Sham b'Gemara. Take a look there in the Gemara. The Gemara brings psukim. I'm not going to go through it. It's too long right now. But Uverashi Zal. V'cheinu aloshin b'mashal amar Shmuel. Similarly, from Shmuel, it sounds like there won't be any tshuva at all. It says, Dayo la'avel shiyamoid be'evloi. It's enough for the mourner. If it means Hashem, he won't stand in his able forever. He'll do something. So it sounds like there doesn't have to be any tshuva at all. So it could be this second brisa held like the Yerushalmi that Rabbi Yeshua doesn't need any tshuva at all. Okay, so now we're back to the question on the Rambam. Why didn't the Rambam pass like Rabbi Yeshua? Why does the Rambam say you have to have tshuva? It says, Gam lefi ma shekasav Rambam zal sheyesh havtacha me'ach Torah k'toisha sheyasu tshuva. So now he's going to ask another question. The Rambam brings a pasuk. So how does this pasuk fit into the machlokas? The pasuk says in Nitzavim, it says when all these things happen to you, you'll do tshuva and you'll come back, and then Hashem will bring you back from Galus. So this pasuk seems to be a clear proof to Rabbi Lezer. So how does Rabbi Yeshua deal with that? Take a look. He says, there's a promise from the Torah, sheyasu tshuva, that they will do tshuva b'soif galusan. There's a pasuk, v'shavta ad Hashem elokecha, right? It's a promise. Really, he's saying you could have learned it differently. You could have learned the pasuk is saying you shall do it. It's a command, but the Rambam is learning that it's a promise. Kvar hivticha Torah. So if it's a promise, imkein ha'eich isa b'zeh plukta. How then could there be a machlokes Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua? Ma'iyeh im lo yasu tshuva. A machlokes about what's going to be if the Jews don't do tshuva. Im yuni galim, if they'll be redeemed or not. Haloi hu davar she'einu b'mitzias. This possibility that they won't do tshuva is impossible, because we know the Torah promises that we're going to do tshuva. You can't have doubts about something the Torah promises. He says, what is Rabbi Yeshua and Shmuel, what are they going to answer on the verses that the Rambam brings? They hold that even without tshuva there could be a gula. How are they going to answer up that pasuk in Nitzavim? All the brises that discuss Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Lezer Sheviu Kamakroi, they bring many other psukim, but Lo Yiskiru Klal Me'oisei Krada V'Shavta. They don't mention that pasuk at all. Sheviu Rambam Zal. So what's going on here? The Rambam paskin like Rabbi Lezer and brought a verse that he didn't even bring. What's going on? Ella Shebiyushalmi Yesh Brisa Acher Kach Shevi Krada V'Shavta. There is a Brisa in the Yerushalmi that does bring it down. V'Sham Eloi Nizker Klal Im Oisa Brisa Hi Beplukta Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Yeshua. But that Brisa doesn't mention Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua, so we don't know which side it's going on. Oi Loi. Gam B'Marsha Megillah Daf Lamed Aleph Dibra Maschil Kedei Kosav Haloshin Shelo Asid Yu Nigalim Alidei Hatshuva. That the Marsha just says, Stam, he's not talking about Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua, he's just talking on his own, and he says they will do tshuva at the end of Galus, and they'll be redeemed. Kemefurish Parshas Nitzavim V'Shavta, and he brings the same pasuk the Rambam brings. In a Kosav Shehu Mefurish, he says that it's an explicit pasuk. V'haloi kivan Shehu Plugged the Gemara. But if it's a machlokes Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua, ha'eich ef shaloi mashu mefurish. How could it be so obvious? Maybe there's another way to learn the pasuk. So, what we're beginning to see here is that the pasuk is not a machlokes. Everyone's going to agree to this pasuk, and the machlokes Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua is going to be about the earlier stage when Mashiach comes. But after Mashiach comes, everyone agrees there has to be some kind of tshuva before he starts gathering in the Jewish people. Okay, weiter. Gam hine beplugte Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Yeshua amru acher kach shasik Rabbi Lezer. That the Gemara continues. Take a look in the Bavli, page 2. The sheet says after the back and forth with the psukim, Rabbi Lezer brings the pasuk. He says, Rabbi Yeshua brings the pasuk. Amar lo Rabbi Yeshua v'haloi kvar nemar bo eshma esoish levush habadim. Daniel says he heard from the Malach, means Gavriel, Asher Mimal Lememe Ayor, who was standing above the river. Vayarm Yamino Ismoilo El Hashemayim. He lifted up his hands to the sky. Vayishava B'chai Ha'olam, and he swore by Hashem, Kilo Moyed Moyadim V'chetzi. At a certain time, we don't know what this means. It's time and a half. Ukichlois Nafetz Yad Am Kadosh. And after the weakening of the hand of the holy people, Tichlena Kol Ela, then all these stars will end and the Galus will end. Okay? So he's giving a time limit. He's saying at that time, that's it. The Galus is going to end. So you see that you don't need tshuva. So the Shasak Rabbi Lezer was quiet and he couldn't answer. So you see that Rabbi Yeshua won the argument. So besides the fact that we paskin like Rabbi Yeshua, he won the argument, so how could you paskin like Rabbi Lezer? He has the Rambam deal with this machlokes. So take a look. He says, "V'loy heshiv klum Rabbi Yeshua al kushiyasei." The Rambam doesn't answer. The Rabbi Lezer doesn't answer this question. Umevur b'toisves balabastra. So now he goes into a discussion of what happens when someone doesn't answer. Can you prove from that he didn't have what to answer? So he says, "Toisves balabastra daf samach beis amud aleph dibur maskul moide sheviu mikama mekoymes b'shas." Toisves brings down many places in Shas. That there are some times where the Gemara says that someone didn't answer, but that's only when the Rebbe doesn't answer his student. If the student asks a question and the Rebbe doesn't answer, we say, yeah, okay, the Rebbe didn't have to answer because he knew he was right. But someone who's a Talmud and he's also a Chaver, he's like on the same level almost, and Kol Shekin over here, Rabbi Lezer and Rishu are totally on the same level, right? We don't say that if someone doesn't answer, he just didn't care to answer, but he really had an answer. No, if someone doesn't answer, it means that he's slugged up. Yeah. When he was quiet, it proves that he agrees to him. That in the beginning of Sukkah, there's a sugya there, Daf Zayin, about when you have a sukkah, it says Shtaim kil chasen u'shlish tafil tefach. You have two full walls and one could be a tefach. And the question is, where do you put the tefach? And according to one shita, you put it as a rosh tur. You put it as in a diagonal direction. So on that, the Gemara says Rav Shasak, Rav was quiet, and the Ramban is a whole piece over there to show that even though Rav was quiet, we still paskin like Rav, because Rav didn't really give in to them, right? But that's only because the sugya says it there. But otherwise, you would say that he did give in. Kitzer, v'chein hu b'chama poiskim, and so in many other poiskim they say that usually shtika kohida, being quiet is like agreeing. V'ayin v'shalas shuvas chacham tzvi siman kuf chavdalad. So lefi zeh Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Yeshua dahavi chaver and rubar plukta midas shasik Rabbi Lezer. From the fact that Rabbi Lezer is quiet, shma mina du'uduye oidile, we see that he must have given in to Rabbi Yeshua. V'imkein l'choyra ein kan pluktas tanoim. There's no machlokes anymore. Everybody holds that you don't need tshuva. U'lechulayam after sheyava Mashiach b'loi tshuva. Everyone agrees that Mashiach could come without tshuva. Okay? Aval ef shalom arkein. The problem is that you can't say that Rabbi Yeshua didn't, that Rabbi Lezer gave in. Shahari gam Rav. Oimer ein adav v'tali ella b'tshuva. That Rav so Rav and Shmuel argue about the same machlokes, and the Gemara says that they're tali habaha, that this machlokes is tali in that machlokes. Upirish Rashi zal im kol Yisrael choisin b'tshuva yavoy. That Rashi says that Rav holds if all the Jewish people do tshuva, Mashiach will come. V'im lav lo yavoy, if not, he won't come. V'im neima shahayder Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Yeshua havi Rav delay kaman. So if we're going to say Rabbi Lezer gave in, and everyone agrees that you don't need tshuva, then who's Rav going like? And you can't say here that Rav is like a Tana. He could argue on Tanoim, because Shahare Amru b'Gemara Achar Pluktis Rav Shmuel Ketanoi. The Gemara brings Rav and Shmuel, and the Gemara says they're like the Tanoim. So Rav can't be his own shita here. Rav is matched up with Rabbi Lezer.
Yeah,
that's the problem here. Okay. The Heviu al Zeh Pluktis Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Yeshua. Alno the Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Yeshua Nishur b'Plukta V'loi Haideloi. So you see that it was a machlokes even in the end. Okay. Now the Efshur sheyesh l'chalik al pi masha amru b'Gemara. Now we have like a double problem going on here. First of all, it sounds like Rabbi Lezer gave in, so that's not like the Rambam. And secondly, but we see that on the other hand that the machlokes continued, because you see we matched up Rav and Shmuel. So he says, "Ve'efshu sheyesh l'chalik al pi masha amru b'Gemara Shabbos daf chavtes on the base." That you can say upshot why giving in, why being quiet doesn't signify giving in this case, because this is not a halachic dispute. So giving in, being quiet doesn't mean you're giving in. He's going to say when it's a halacha dispute, then if you got to speak out your opinion, otherwise people will use it the wrong way. So if you don't speak out your opinion, it shows that you agree. Mashenkin over here, it's not a halacha, so you didn't care about speaking out. Take a look. Shabbos daf chavtes on the base. Amrulei ish tuki lach kitashaski chacham l'Rebbe Lezer nafik minei churba. That someone held that you're not allowed to drag a bench on a floor that's going to make a scratch, and then they would geyser even a stone floor, and somebody did it, and the other Tana said, I'm going to speak out against you, because if I don't speak out, people are going to nafik minei churba. People are going to learn out from my silence that I agreed to you, and they're going to go and do it again. They're going to be matir this isser. So mavur bazeh, we see from this sheyesh tam shloi lishtoik. There's a good reason not to keep quiet when you don't hold of something, because the people shouldn't learn from your silence to go and permit something. Yeah, that's mutter. That's really awesome. This only applies when the machlokes is a halacha machlokes. The nafik mizeh toz ba'halacha. A mistake could come out. If the machlokes about some story, what's going to happen, what did happen, they ain't nafkamina la halacha, and it doesn't really matter for halacha purposes which one's right. So then you could keep quiet even though you disagree. In our case, you have to do tshuva anyway. Even if Mashiach is going to come with or without tshuva, it makes no difference. You still have to do tshuva. So we're not arguing halacha here. It says, "Kamasha chasav Rambam b'Maamar Kiddush Hashem." The Rambam says, "She'en kiyum ha'Torah ha'Kdosh l'tolei b'bias HaMashiach." This is interesting. Rambam. The Rambam has a letter that he wrote when he was very young. When they were in Morocco and the Almohads were ruling, and they made the Jews convert to Islam. And there was a shmua going around among these Yidden who anusim, who given in to the pressure. There was a shmua going around that Mashiach is going to come soon, so we could just hold out until he comes, and we'll be secret Jews, and like kind of like the Marranos in Spain, except in Morocco under the Muslims. We'll keep Judaism secretly until Mashiach comes. Yeah. So the Rambam was against that. He held that you should leave the place and move someplace where you can be an open Jew. And he says there, you're telling me Mashiach's going to come? How do you know when he's going to come?
Yes.
The Rambam says, you can't make the Torah dependent on when Mashiach comes. If he's not going to come this year, not going to come this generation, maybe Judaism will die out over here. You can't just wait around.
The Rambam left Egypt.
He left, first he went to Eretz Israel, but he realized it was Crusaders' time, he couldn't stay there, so he went to Egypt.
Yeah.
So, he says, She'en kiyum ha-Torah k'dosh tolei b'biyas ha-Mashiach. V'af mi she'enu zorech l'biyas ha-Mashiach. You can't say that I'm going to wait for Mashiach. No. Even if you're not zorech for Mashiach, you still have to do something in the meantime. Mutal love kiyum kol ha-Torah kula. V'ayin shuvs, sam soifer yoredei shin nun vav. V'ayin beplug tezu so this machlokes Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua is only a machlokes what will happen if we don't do tshuva. Will HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring Mashiach or not? But that's not a halacha dispute. He says, we find other machlokes about Agadata in Yonim, questions of what will happen, what won't happen. There's no nafkamina. So if someone makes a mistake, let's say Rabbi Eliezer really argues, but he just kept quiet because he didn't feel like answering, right? So no one's going to make a mistake and do something wrong because of that. At the worst, they'll think that Mashiach will come without tshuva. So what? Let them think that. You can't prove from Rabbi Eliezer silence that he held like Rabbi Yeshua.
Yeah.
So that's why the Rambam paskin like Rabbi Eliezer. This is what he wants to answer now. But we're still stuck. We don't understand why Rabbi Eliezer, why not Rabbi Yeshua? Okay. U'b'chidushay Ramban, Masechta Bava Basra, Daf Samach Beis. Hevi Batchila. He's still going to go on about this subject about Shtika Koidah. Take a look. The Ramban in Bava Basra brings down Divrei Rabbeinu Tam, the Shtika Havi Koidah. Aval of a Soif Masik Disfeikahu. In the end, he says no. Silence is not always agreement. It depends. It's not always true, and we don't know. So therefore, we go l'chumra. So he says, "Uvadine mamanis kula l'nitva." If it's a question of money, if someone owes somebody money, so you say, let him keep the money. Kula l'nitva. We let the nitva, the guy holding the money, keep the money. Uve'isura l'chumra. If it's a machlokes about something that's aser and mutter, so we go l'chumra. If the person disagreed or not, right? The kasav al zeh hakorban asan b'beitza perik mashilin ois shin. The kivan disfeikahu einoi l'chumra el b'isura deraisa. Korban asan says that's only if the isur is deraisa. Then you go l'chumra. Loy b'isura derabanan. Ukein zehu b'shalas chubis ma'arit. Chelak Aleph Soif Siman Pei Gimel. El sheyesh l'chalak ben yana shal ma'arit l'kan ve'ein adoim l'gamri k'mavur l'ma'ayin ve'ein l'harich b'zeh. Says the ma'arit argues, but it's not so pashut that he argues. But we're not going to go into it now. The Al Kapanim, he says the Ma'arit not argues. The Ma'arit agrees, but it's not so pashut that it's the same case. Anyway, the Al Kapanim near she'ein zeh klal muchlat. This idea that someone is quiet agrees is not always true. If the Gemara here says that Rav and Shmuel go like Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua, the Rav Soiver, the Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua, adayin b'machlokas b'machluka hein oimdim. Says that even without the previous shtickle that he said that this is not a halacha dispute, even if it would be a halacha dispute, sometimes silence is not agreement, and therefore in this case, if Rav and Shmuel argued, obviously Rav held that they didn't, Rabbi Eliezer didn't agree in that. Ela afa pichein Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Yeshua halacha Rabbi Yeshua. We're still stuck with our old question that if Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua disagree, we should pass them like Rabbi Yeshua. Okay. Gam beplug to the Rabbi Shmuel milvad the halacha Shmuel bedini. Besides the fact that Shmuel, we follow Shmuel by dinim sometimes, so that's maybe this is dinim. Haloi mevur acher kach begemara memra Rabbi Yochanan. There's another Amoyer who holds like Shmuel. Who is it? Rabbi Yochanan. Sha'amar ein ben David ba el bedor shekulei zakai oy kulei chayev. This is a famous memory. We're going to spend some time on it. Rabbi Yochanan said that Mashiach will only come either in a door that's completely good or completely bad. Take a look in Sanhedrin Tzaddik Ches and Aleph, second page of the sheets. V'yom Rabbi Yochanan ein ben David ba ela bedor shekulei zakai oy kulei chayev. Ben David, Mashiach will not come ela bedor shekulei zakai oy kulei chayev. Bedor shekulei zakai brings psukim for each one. If it's going to be a good generation, totally good, dichsiv bi'amech kulam tzadikim, the whole people will be tzadikim. La'olam yirshu arts. Bedor shekulei chayev dichsiv vayarki ein ish. That Hashem saw that there was no man. Vayish toimim, and he was amazed. Ki ein mafkia, there was no one to daven on the Klal Yisrael's behalf, and that's why Hashem brought the Geula without anybody being a tzaddik. Okay, uksiv l'ma'ani eseh, I will do for my own sake. I'll bring the Geula for my own purposes, for Kiddush Hashem. Okay, fine. The next Gemara we're going to see in a minute about Itach Yishena. So this Rabbi Yochanan, l'chayra, is a raya to Shmuel, right? It's a raya that Rabbi Yochanan held like Shmuel.
Yes.
So bedor shekulei zakai dichsiv, bedor shekulei chayev dichsiv, vayarki einish vayishtem gemafkia uksiv l'man yasa. Umevur bazeh. We see from Rabbi Yochanan the story of the efshar shiyaver ben David bedor shekulei chayev. That it could be Mashiach will come in a generation that's all wicked. V'akadosh baruch hu ach l'mano yas. He'll do it for his own sake. V'zeh like Rav. So you see, Rabbi Yochanan is not like Rav. Sh'amashim lo yachzru kol Yisrael b'tshuva lo yavoi. Rav holds that if we don't all do tshuva, he won't come. So Rabbi Yochanan is tipping the scales now, because now Rav against Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan, for sure we pass them like Rabbi Yochanan and Shmuel, right? Even if Rav and Shmuel themselves are against Rabbi Yochanan tips the scales. So Kol Shekain here, the Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan are on the same side. Okay? Just now, the next two paragraphs are going to be a digression. We're going to talk about what Rabbi Yochanan means, since a lot of people have asked about this. A lot of Zionists have made a mistake, and basically the mistakes fall in two categories. First of all, people think that Rabbi Yochanan means everybody's going to be a Rasha. So that the Rebbe is going to address in the first paragraph here, starting with Hagam. And then the other mistake is people think that because of the Rishus, that will bring about Mashiach.
I mean, like what you just mentioned, like frankincense and 17s.
Right. So that's this second paragraph, Yesh Toyim, over here on page Nun Gimel. So we're going to get to that soon. First, let's do this paragraph, Hagam, okay? Addressing the question of what people say, that it has to be, everybody has to be bad. No? Kulei Chayev. He says, Hagam shebavadai ein apirish kulei chayev shechas v'shalom lo yiyeh b'Yisrael shum shomer Torah mitzvahs. You can't learn pshat that kulei chayev means there won't be a single Jew who's keeping Torah mitzvahs. Shezeh yef, that can't be. Shehu b'chlal ha'havtacha d'loi tishachach mipi zaroi. There's a promise the Torah makes that the Torah won't be forgotten, and that's included in that. Shalo'olam yiyeh b'Yisrael eizeh shomer Torah mitzvahs. There'll always be some Yidden who keep the Torah. The Rambam Kasav, the mitzvah the Kiddush HaChodesh, the Sefer HaMitzvahs mitzvah Kufna and Gimel. The Rambam says there that you have to have Jews in Eretz Yisrael for Kiddush HaChodesh, right? It can't be that at any point during exile, Eretz Yisrael will be totally empty of Jews. Hashem promised that the Jewish people won't disappear. If there's no Jews in Eretz Yisrael, we can't have Rosh Chodesh, the Rambam holds. So those Jews in Eretz Yisrael, however many there are, they're the ones who are making the months.
What do you mean? We make them Chutzarts, so we Kiddush Levana Chutzarts.
Right, but not Kiddush Levana. The deciding which day will be Rosh Chodesh. We have a fixed calendar, but the fixed calendar only works if there are Yidden alive who are actually declaring today Rosh Chodesh.
But how they hear the declaration?
They don't have to hear it because you know the calendar is fixed. Let's say you look at the calendar, you know Rosh Chodesh is coming this Sunday or something. So you know it's going to be Rosh Chodesh. So the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael are looking at the same calendar and they're declaring that day Rosh Chodesh. So you know that they declared Rosh Chodesh. But they still have to declare Rosh Chodesh. Otherwise it's not Chal.
As soon as they didn't have to hear it, back in the old days when they couldn't hear
They had
that.
to send messengers. וכשאין אנשים מבני ישראל בארץ ישראל, אין לנו קביעת החדשים. שאי אפשר לקדש החודש אל בארץ ישראל. You can't have Kiddush HaChodesh unless you're in Eretz Yisrael, unless there are Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. ובטלו המועדס מכל ישראל. So if there are no Jews in Eretz Yisrael, the whole, kvias, the whole, the calendar will become batal, and we won't be able to keep Yom Tov anymore. That's called the Jewish people disappearing. So he's proving from this that not keeping Yom Tov is called by the Rambam the Jewish people disappearing. So you see that if no Jews keep the mitzvahs, that's already, even if the Jews are in the world, that's called disappearing of the Jews. Even the Ramban who disagrees on the Rambam agrees to the idea that there has to be Yom Tov by Yidden, right? It can't be that it will disappear. He just argues in the halacha that according to the Ramban, even without any Jews in Eretz Yisrael, Yom Tov wouldn't stop because the Chadashim kisagi b'kviyas Chadashim shenasu al yidei Hil Hanasi ad bias hagoyel. That's enough that Hil Hanasi made all the Rosh Chadashim until bias HaMashiach. You don't need Jews in Eretz Yisrael. V'im bittul hamoedes, but you see everyone agrees that bittul hamoedes is something that can happen. So if bittul hamoedes bilvad havichas b'shalom ki lo'ina umma, if that's considered the destruction of the Jewish people, umikol shekein v'bittul kol ha'torah kula. If there would be no Jews alive keeping Torah, that would be for sure impossible. HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised that won't happen. You can't say Rabbi Yochanan meant that they're all bad. It means that they're all not keeping the Torah, like people think by mistake. But really, what does it mean, kulei chayev? It means two things, two possibilities. Reishis, the first possibility is Yadua de ha'olam acher ruboy nidain. It means the majority. We go after the majority when Hashem judges the world. Umavur betaz hilchis Rosh Hashanah Siman Tov Kuf Pei Beis Kif Cotton Gimel Dilachein Oimrim Meloich Al Kol Ha'olam Kulei Shehu Kefil Alashon. Why do we say in Rosh Hashanah davening, rule over the whole world? Kol Ha'olam Kulei. What's this double lashon? If you would just say Kol Ha'olam Yesh Laim Shehu Rubai, the Rubai Kakulei, you would have thought it meant the most of the world. The Motzinu Harbe Pam Kain. Sometimes, a lot of times, Kol means most. So therefore, it had to say Kol Ha'olam Kulei. That when
like Kol Yishon say like Olam Haba means most, doesn't mean the Rishayim.
Good.
It's like Kol Yishon Kulel, that would mean the Rishayim. Would you rather, or it includes the Rishayim?
Right. Now, just to stop here for a second. There's a shtickle problem. If Rabbi Yochanan said B'dor shekuloi zakai or B'dor shekuloi chayev. Now, if kuloi means rubai, so think about what Rabbi Yochanan is saying. He's saying that Mashiach will only come in a generation that's mostly good or mostly bad. Well,
that's quite a contradictory statement.
He's not saying much then. He's saying basically...
It's a very contradictory statement.
It's either going to rain tomorrow or it's not going to rain tomorrow.
It's very contradictory.
So I was thinking maybe you say it like this. Rabbi Yochanan meant like this. We're going to see in the Hemshech, but more about this. But he's saying that when there's two types of Geula, there's two possibilities. Either Mashiach could come early, or he could come at the last possible moment. It's Be'ita Achishena. We're going to see in the Sanhedrin. So, if he comes early, it's going to be because 100% of Jews are good.
Yeah.
Do tshuva. If he doesn't come early, if we don't get to that madrega, so then he's going to come Be'ita in the last possible moment. The last possible moment, there's a nevuah saying that we're not going to be mostly good. We're going to be mostly bad.
Right.
So Rabbi Yochanan means like this. Mashiach will only come b'dor shekulei zakai, means 100% good, or kulei chayav, which means mostly bad. Comes out a shtickle problem though, because it's saying we're changing in horses in midstream. We're saying first of all, b'dor shekulei zakai means kulei zakai, literally, right? And b'dor shekulei chayav means mostly chayav. So you can't really do that. Like if Rabbi Yochanan said in the same breath, kulei chayav, you can't change kulei to rubai one time and not the other time. Either you got to do both or you got to do neither.
You know, it's kind of like saying either you build this house or break down that house. I'm still giving you this money's worth. Kul chayav, they'll be building, and keeping the Torah. Kul zakai, but kul chayav, they'll be breaking, but I should give them the same schar. It doesn't make sense. One gets schar for building and for destroying. So how could you say
No,
that?
because the answer is because it's going to be later. If it's ita, if it's kulei chayav, it's going to come later.
Just support.
That's not the point.
What you're saying that.
But I'm just saying that kulei and can't mean rubai once and not the other time. But maybe what he means is taki. He means darsha kulei zakai means mostly good in the early generation or mostly bad in a later generation. He's not. That's the chiddush of Rabbi Yochanan.
Yeah.
Okay. See inside again in the next shot. So far he said one shot in kulei. Kulei means rubai. Now, here's the second shot. Gam b'miyut shomrei Torah mitzvah sheyesh ba'ador. It could be that there'll be a minority of people keeping the Torah, and maybe sometimes Hashem weighs them more, but in this case not. He says, Ein bohem shleim es kol kach yuchlu lachriya es kol ador. They won't be big enough, won't be great enough to weigh down and tip the scale against all the other people. Yeah, b'koicham. So according to this pshat, that's why Rabbi Yochanan brings the pasuk ki ein ish, that Hashem saw there's no man, meaning there's no tzaddik, even though there are tzaddikim, there's no tzaddik with such an ability to weigh the scale down. Yeah. There's no one who could be mafkiya, who could intercede on behalf of the rest of the Jews and weigh down the scales. With his own tshuva ma'asim tovim lahavi agula ulahashtikas hamakatrugim neged agula, and to silence the accusers in Bezin Shalmaila. V'yavim yesh adayin tzadikim bedor sheyotzim zakayim. Even though there are some people who are tzadikim, b'shar and yonim, they're good in other areas, but mikol makom b'nidan zeh. As far as this is concerned, Shadanim ala Geula, Shal Klal Yisrael, Shehuin Yenoyer v'Niskav. But as far as daning whether there'll be a Geula, Ein Mi Sheyizke B'Zeh. There's no one who could weigh the scales down. V'Habi B'Zeh, but B'Din Zeh Kulei Chayav Mamish. So according to this pshat, it's Mamish Kulei Chayav. According to the first pshat, we had to teach Kulei meant Ruboy. Now we're teaching Kulei means Kulei, but it means the din, the psak din, the decision is, the judgment is Chayav. They're not roy, they're not fitting to have a gula. Okay? The derech hamikra is for Chazal l'daber b'lashon zeh. It's normal for a pasuk or for Chazal to say something that is chayav, even though it's not really completely chayav. U'kumoy she'amru Chazal b'pirusha dekra v'naki v'tzadik al taroi ki lo yatzik rasha. Pasuk in Mishpatim it says, don't kill the tzadik because I will not vindicate the wicked. The hainu she'af shehu rasha u'mechuyev misa. Even if this tzaddik who's going to the din Torah, right? Let's say he's on trial for committing some aveira, and l'maisa he didn't do the aveira, but he did other aveiras, right? So he's really a rasha. So he says the hainu she'af shehu rasha u'mechuyev misa. Even though he's a rasha for other reasons, mikolachim kiven shebedin zeh yoytze zakai. Since in this particular aveira that we're judging him on, he's innocent. So nikra tzaddik b'din zeh. He's called a tzaddik in this thing. So don't kill a tzaddik because I'm not going to vindicate a rasha. I'm going to punish him myself. Don't worry about him. I'll take care of him. But he's a tzaddik right now because he didn't do whatever you're donning him on. Okay. Afshel afiho emes ain't a tzaddik. Even though in general he's not really a tzaddik, but he's a tzaddik in this din. Ukvar herich bozeh hamabit. Hamabit goes on about this and talks about this. V'atanya v'reish sifrei likutei amarim. The Baal Tanya in this famous Sefer Atanya, he says, Herich Tuva, b'masha amru Chazal Beinonim mechzes zachius u'mechzes averis. That the Chazal say Beinoni means someone who's exactly halfway between mitzvahs and averis, exactly the same number of mitzvahs and averis. In the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva, when he talks about Rosh Hashanah, right, he says that between the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the Beinonim tluim b'oimdim. What's Beinonim? Beinonim is people who have half averis, half mitzvahs.
Yeah.
They do one mitzvah, they'll bring down the scales to the good side. But the Baal Tanya, what's the Baal Tanya say? He says, Afshel afiho emes ein elu Beinonim. He says that's not the only definition of Beinoni. A person is exactly halfway, because you see the Gemara says Rabbi said I'm a Beinoni
out of humility.
Out of humility, but he wouldn't say a lie, so he's not exactly half.
Think he's half
this
sin,
tzaddik Rabbi is not half sins, half of it, right? Ela shelo oisei ha'inyan shedibru sham chazal havid beinanim. Just lagavi the din of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we say a person who's half and half is a beinani, but lagavi other things he's not. That's why it calls it that, because Chazal use borrowed language. I can't remember the Kulei Chayev, so I saw to here when it says Kulei Chayev, to call y'all the Ma'ir Bedin, the Ma'ir Sham Bedin Shadanim al Geula. That in this judgment that Hashem judges the world, if it's fit for Geula, Lagavi that din, it's Kulei Chayev. Yeah? Even though the generation is really pretty good for other purposes. Okay? It's getting late, but we'll try to finish up, okay?
Don't worry.
Okay.
We have time.
Now, second mistake about this Rabbi Yochanan. Some people think that because people are Rishayim, that brings about the Gula. So on that, the Rebbe says...
It's a terrible thing to say. That means you're saying that Averis bring prosperity, which is the ultimate kfira. You're going to say Averis bring prosperity.
That it causes Mashiach to come if you're good, if you're bad. That's a complete mistake. The more you do mitzvahs and you go away from chet, that brings the gula closer. That what Chazal are saying is basically a prediction. They're not saying it's going to cause an effect. If you do a Beis, it causes Mashiach. They're saying a prediction that in the time when Mashiach comes, it's going to be like that. Difference between a prediction and a cause and effect. So he says, the Nevi'im predict what will happen, and there's a contradiction in the Pesukim. It's similar to what Chazal say about the pasuk, in its time I will hasten it. The Havistira, right? Either in its time or I'll hasten it. So, which is it? So, Ubiru, the Chazal say, in Sanhedrin Sadi Chesed Medal, right here, that the Ve'ita Kaya Loizachu, that in its time means in the final time, when the last possible moment, that's if you're not Zoicha. V'achi Shena, and I'll bring it closer, I'll bring it faster, Kaya Loi Azachu, that's if they are Zoicha. Ukamoy Kein Tirtu Astir, the Kasiv Echadoimer Ve'aru, Imanane Shmaya. There's a pasuk in Daniel that he says, behold, with the clouds of heaven, Mashiach's coming, right? The pasuk says no, he's coming like a poor man. In Zechariah, he's coming like a poor man riding a donkey. Okay, so which is it? Is he coming on a cloud or a donkey? So Chazal say it depends if we're Zeicha. That you can answer up a lot of steers with this kind of answer. So one pasuk says that at the time of the Geula, Yidden will all be good. It says no, there's no good man. There's no tzaddikim. Yes, I'll do it for my own sake. So Chazal answer up that if Mashiach comes early because we're Zoicha for it, then we'll be 100% good. Or maybe not 100%, maybe mostly good. Like I said before, that Rabbi Yochanan meant mostly good, mostly bad. But if he comes early, it'll be mostly good. If we don't merit that early Mashiach, he delays until the final possible time. You can't have later than that. It's a nevuah at that time will be bad. It will be like mostly bad. Many brises predict the future. A famous Gemara, and it's also in Sanhedrin and in Soita, Pnei Ador Kifnei Akelev. That in the time before Bias HaMashiach, the people will look like a dog.
Even own dogs.
Which Rabbi Chanan, Shem the Chavetz Chaim, learns that like the dog bites the stick, He thinks the stick is hitting him, so that people, think that the tsaras are coming from whatever they're coming from. They don't realize it's coming from Hashem. And the second shot, he says the dog goes in front of its master, so the same way the dog is going to go in front of its gedolim. They're going to leave their gedolim. V'ho emes nederes. Chazal also predict that the truth will be rare. V'yirechet imasu, and people who fear sin will be disgusted, will be like held in disgust, held in contempt by other people. V'oid harbe inyanim neiroim. There are also many amazing predictions. She'anu roim b'doreinu b'avaneseinu rabim shekulam niskaimu. We see they're all coming true nowadays. So he says not that the predictions will be a cause for the gula. It has to happen anyway. Hashem swore, there will be a time limit. The pasuk that Rabbi Shua finally brings that clinches the argument, right? That at a certain time there'll be B'yas HaMashiach, no matter what. So when that time comes, he'll bring Mashiach, not because of the Averis, just there's a prediction that at that time there will be Averis, there will be Kulei Chayev. After I wrote this pshat in Kulei Chayev, Haruni Shapir Zesha Kasavdi B'Kulei Chayev Kvar Kosvu B'Sefer HaKadosh Zekuki Nenura Alatan Vayoel Moshe. I don't know, but the Pirush on Tanz Vayoel Zekuk in the Nura says the same shot. Al Tanz Vayoel be Maamar shekasav b'soif Sefer Seder Elio Rabba v'hinani. So I had hanoah shekivanti l'das agadol. I was mechaven to what agadol said. V'hu Pirush amiti lefi pshutan shel dvarim. This is the pasuk shot. This is what it really means. Okay. Getting back to the subject now, we see Rabbi Yochanan is on Shmuel's side, so how could the Rambam paskin against it? He says, "Members of Rabbi Yochanan, Shiyav ben David af shekul darsha kulei chayev el ach lamanu yas v'zeh al korchach dolei karav." That's not like Rav. Shesoy v'shim lo yas to call Israel tshuva lo yavoy. That if we don't do tshuva, he's not going to come. V'Rav Rabbi Yochanan halach Rabbi Yochanan. Rav against Rabbi Yochanan, we always pass like Rabbi Yochanan. Mikol shekain kishagam Shmuel Rabbi Yochanan tarvayu pligi al Rav. Right here, both Rabbi Yochanan and Shmuel are against Rav. V'hi gam das Rabbi Yeshua, and it's also Rabbi Yeshua the halacha kavasi l'gad Rabbi Lezer. The halacha like Rabbi Yeshua. Mikol shekain kishashas like Rabbi Lezer, and here it's even more true because Rabbi Lezer was quiet in the end. So you see, he sounds like he agrees. The al kaponim midis feika loy nafka. At least it's a suffix that maybe he agrees. Im loy hayda l'dvarav. Umadua hechlit efoy Rambam zal she'ein Yisrael nigolim el b'tshuva. So now back to the question: why did the Rambam decide to paskin that there has to be tshuva? Da'av shematza mevur came b'kra. The Rambam has a pasuk in Parshas Nitzavim. Avol divrei Chazal ikar. You don't just go after a pasuk against Chazal. The Chazal are the ikar. Shehem yadu akol biurei kol mikrais. Chazal knew the pshat in the pasuk too. Ve'ein lanu lahachriya beineim el lafia kolam sha'amru. You can't paskin like one a moyer, one tana, just based on your own pasuk. You have to follow the rules. Gam meharbe brayse sheviu b'stama b'masechah Sanhedrin u'v'soif masechta soita shegiru kulam al matzav ador shevik b'sed Mashiach. Pirish Rashi zal b'soif soita b'ik v'Mashiach b'soif agalos v'nei b'yis HaMashiach. He says all these brises are mashma like the shita that there won't be tshuva, because when we call elu brayse shefligu kol kach b'shiflus hador, they speak about the lowness of the generation. Shalifnei b'yis HaMashiach b'chol ha'pratim, in all ways. Al korchach shehu kadash Rabbi Yochanan. So it sounds like they hold like Rabbi Yochanan, sheyavoy Mashiach l'dor shekulei chayev. V'hu l'choyer pela atzum. So it's a big problem, big amazing, unbelievable thing. Shehechli the Rambam zal neged kol zeh. But the Rambam went against all this, and he just says there's going to be tshuva. V'afa Ravid doesn't even argue. V'shum echad me'al masigim. None of the other mefarshim lo yisiguhu. None of them argue. Mizeh ra'ad kol moedim b'zeh. It sounds like they all agree. K'moy shemavur b'klal Ravid v'oinin sarach bir. Okay. V'yesh lahayer oed dihinei amarik. B'shoyesh kuf samach hey. Kosted the kol klali hashas b'kviyas halacha einen ela al dinim anoigim b'zman hazeh. So he's saying it could be, there's a makom to answer, that all these rules don't apply, all the rules of how to paskin don't apply to such a machlokes, because it's not a halacha machlokes for bisman hazeh. He says, all the rules only apply to things that are bisman hazeh, like nashim and nizikim and moed. V'adarabba heichasha talmud poisik b'chayotze b'zeh halacha kaploini parach v'chilchased l'mashicha. Whenever there's a machlokes about let's say karbonis or about Mashiach, and the Gemara does say halacha kaploini, so the Gemara always asks, how could you paskin halacha l'Mashiach? V'harba poiskim soivim kain. Many poiskim hold like this marik. Uviyad malachi hevi oid mikam rishonim shekasvu kain. He brings other rishonim who say this rule. Onam, however, that's not necessarily everyone's opinion. Achidah, the Sefer of Shar Yosef v'Yair Oizen, Mareches Tei Ois Yid Gimel Kasev the Midar Rambam v'Arayvid. The Rambam does write about things that are B'Moisei Mashiach, right? The Rambam, the Rayvid, Yasmag, Kasvu Kol halachas. They bring down every halacha. Shebeseder Kachim, the Taharas. She'en Noigim Bizman that which don't apply today. V'Hu Al Pi Klolei Hashash Shebiyodenu. And they follow the regular rules, like Rav and Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan and all the other rules. Al Korch Delois Firluhu Hach the Marik. They don't hold like the Marik. Ulafiani is Taiti Medivrei Arith V'Arosh Sheishmitu Kol Ma She'en Noig Bizman Hazeh. He says, I think the reason why the Rif and the Rosh didn't bring down today's the halachas that are not negayah today is near the sphere lehu kadas marik. He says she'ein lanu kviyas halacha b'zeh. So he says the reason why the Rif and the Rosh didn't paskin on things that are not negayah today is because they don't have rules how to paskin. Omnam Gama Rambam Zal, even the Rambam who did go into things that are not negated.
Yeah, the way of the Rambam, what? The Rambam, wrote all the halachas that there are no heksein, the whole
Shemachriya kol halachas, af b'hilchas l'mashicha, mikolakam b'ma she'ein b'yadenu, el b'yad HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says even the Rambam doesn't usually rule on things that are not in our hands.
Yeah.
So basically he's saying it's not just that the Klalei HaPsach don't apply, it's that we don't even paskin. We don't even go in to write a Sefer about halacha, about whether Mashiach will come with tshuva or without tshuva, because that's something that's not in our hands. Hashem is the one sending Mashiach. Usually the Rambam himself doesn't paskin. There's a machlokes if the Aseres Hashvatim will come back when Mashiach comes. So Kasav Sham v'zel Shainai. Kvar zacharti loch pamim rabbi shekol machlokes sheyeh bein hachachamim. The Rambam in the Pirush HaMishnayos here, he says, I've mentioned to you many times that any machlokes she'einu ba lidei ma'aseh, that's not going to be practically applied, el shehu emunah, emunah's davar bilvad, it's just to believe in something. Ein sad lifsek halacha ke'echad mehem. We don't just paskin like one of them. We can't paskin, because how can you paskin on emunah? That's really the question here.
Yeah.
So that's the point of this whole paragraph. The Rebbe is saying, besides the fact that the Rambam went against Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Yochanan, but the whole thing is strange. Why is the Rambam even mixing in to something that's not Nogei al Halacha? It's something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to do.
Yeah.
B'chein kasevoi b'pirish HaMishnah v'sechus soita perak hayin noitel le'inyan plukta d'misnam neves v'oi leches. Yuyin sham. There's a machlokes in soita. If the soita will die after she drinks right away, or she'll get sick and it'll take a few years. V'im kain. Gam, the Rambam says the same thing. That's the emunah. It's something that could happen, but it's not in our hands. V'im kain gam b'zeh she'en plukta v'safik. There's no machlokes in tzarich la'asas tshuva. She'af b'libi es HaMashiach achiv la'asas tshuva. You have to fulfill the Torah even without Mashiach. The machlokes is only what HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do. So it's similar to this thing, whether the Aseres HaShvatim are coming back.
And we know by deciding that nowadays True doesn't apply because the Geulah. It's not for us to decide.
So it's a question of emunah. What's he going to do? So I would say, how did the Rambam come to paskin? Rambam zal b'zeh she'ein nigalim el b'tshuva. Given shekvar hishrish lanu hach klala. Since he said in the Pirush Mishnayos this rule, the v'chai gavne ein lanu lifstek halacha, that we don't paskin halacha on such a thing. Okay. Shuvro isi b'yismach moesh parshas tisa daf kuf peizayin amud dalad shekasav kvar nemar b'chol asfarim dechol klali halachas einam el b'dinim anehugim beinenu avaloi b'inyan shamayim. all the rules of paskening only apply to things that we have to do, not things that Hashem does. The Rambam that we mentioned before in Pirush Mishnayos, that's really the only place that the Rebbe found this. And he says, the Yismach Moshe says, B'chol HaSfarim, all the Sfarim say this, that the Klalim don't apply. Uvavadai hu zal ra zeh b'kama mekoymes. He must have seen it in other places, given shekasav shenemar b'chol HaSfarim. Al kaponim al Rambam b'vadai kasha. The Rambam himself, who says this rule, is really shver, because ha'ich cost of psak halacha b'nyan ha'geula. How could he paskin on the geula she'eino yach b'dei shemaim? It's only in the hands of shemaim. B'makom sheyesh plugtas hatanaim. If there's a machlokes about it, v'ein lanu al zeh shum klali halacha ha'ich lachriya. We have no rules how to decide in a machlokes that's in emunah. That machlokes about what will happen.
Right? How could the Rabbi write? You're in Hilchos Malachim, Hilchos Mashiach.
Right. And basically, like I said, the answer is going to be in the next Siman. The answer is going to be that the Rambam's not talking about what will happen before Bias HaMashiach. Before Bias HaMashiach in the Chanam, the machlokes is whether it'll be tshuva or not. But after Bias HaMashiach, before the Kibbutz Goliath begins, there's for sure going to be tshuva. That's what the Rambam meant. Okay.
It's good.